Okay. So I'm here with Elizabeth, and we're just going to spend a little time getting to know each other and see how occupational therapy can benefit her. And I'm Amanda, her occupational therapist. Um, so can you start off by just telling me a little bit about yourself and what brought you here today?
Well, I'm not quite sure, but I've got a lot of things going on in my life. Recently, mm, well, not recently, about 7 weeks ago, I was in the hospital, um, and they want me to get some further treatment. So that's why I'm here.
Okay. And can you tell me a little bit about how you've been feeling lately, just in terms of your mood?
Oh, it comes and goes. I have good days and bad days. Um, my daughter and her husband are living with me. My husband passed away, and even though it's been some years, I'm still, processing that. And my daughter and her husband live with me, and we don't get along, and there's lots of stress, and I've got a few medical issues that go up and down. So my life is just seems to be a constant up and down, up and down.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds like you have a lot going on, and I can imagine that can be very difficult to manage. And so, do you have any spiritual beliefs or practices or values that help you to cope with this stress?
Well, I my husband and I are Catholic, or he was Catholic. We were Catholic, and now I am Catholic. But with all my physical ailments and whatnot, I haven't been able to get to mass. I haven't been able to get to confession. So I don't. I haven't been able to get to church.
Okay. Before, when you would go to church, who would normally take you?
My husband, when he was alive, we were together for 39 years, and
Mhm.
so we were two peas in a pod. Um, and then, my daughter, if she felt like it, she would take me.
Mhm.
Um, but like I said, that relationship is bad, and it's hard for me to drive now. So, I have to rely on her, and that just depends on how she's feeling on any given day.
Okay. Do you know if there's anybody else in your church that would be able to bring you? Is this something that you think would be important?
You know, it is important to me, and I feel like I'm incomplete without it. And I've been frustrated by it all. But my pastor is the one who brought me to the hospital. I was in the hospital also like 15 months ago,
Mhm.
a little over a year ago, and it was my pastor that brought me there. So he's reached out to me every once in a while, but I just don't feel like bothering him.
Right. Yeah, that sounds very difficult. Um, and I'm seeing here that you're using a rolling walker to help you walk. Do you keep that close by to you?
Um, when I can, my house is really small, and with my daughter and son-in-law in the basement, I only have the main floor, and I'm a bit of a hoarder, so it's a little bit difficult to get around with the walker. So I get it as close to me as I can, but I can't say it's always with me.
Okay. And sorry if you hear typing, I'm just taking some notes about you, okay?
That's okay.
Okay. So you mentioned that the spirituality is in your church as a Christian is very important in your life. Has it ever impacted the way that you receive care?
No,
Okay.
because it's like there's spirituality and then there's medical care.
Okay.
They're two different worlds.
Okay. So now that your life has been a little bit shifted lately, as you've mentioned, can you just walk me through your typical day at home?
Well, whenever I wake up, which depends on how well I sleep, which depends on when I go to bed, sometimes I just lay in bed for a while. I don't have a lot of energy, um, or motivation to get up. I have no reason to get up, and so I linger. Then eventually I get up, and if my walker's not there, I just use boxes or something in the area to move about my room and finally find my walker and go out to the kitchen, make some coffee, have a seat at the kitchen table and kind of plan my day if there is a day. Mostly it's about whether I have any appointments coming up and how I'll get there and what time I have to be there, what do I need, um and that can be a problem too in terms of me getting to my appointments. Takes a lot of energy to plan for that. Every once in a while I have a cousin in the area who can help me out, but that's, isn't guaranteed. My daughter's not guaranteed, so it causes a lot of stress and anxiety. Um, sometimes it's just like I'm just dealing with so much that it's like I don't want to deal with it anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that can be very difficult trying to find rides to go places when you know that you really need to get there. Um, so I kind of asked you before about any people in your church community or just your community in general that can help you out. You mentioned that your pastor had brought you to the hospital last time. Um, and I kind of asked this before, but do you have any group in your church that maybe helps with public transportation and bringing people to and from appointments, or have you ever heard of anything like this?
I've been so disconnected from the church, going so erratically that I don't really know anybody anymore. If I get to church, it's like I just sit in the service. I take my, do confession, take my communion, and finish the service, and then I get out of there. So I don't know if that is there any, if they have
Okay.
that or not.
Okay, that's definitely something that we can look into together if you're interested, so we can help get you connected back to your spiritual community.
Hmm.
But so you mentioned at home that you have some clutter in your home. Do you ever have any experiences with falling or any other barriers because of this?
Well, yeah, especially without my walker. I get very unsteady between the medications I take and being overweight and then not feeling my best because of my diabetes. I just have weakness and I never know when it's going to happen, but my knee could give out or my ankle could give out. And if I don't have, even with my walker, I'm capable of falling. So, um, I would say I'm very unstable. That's why I stick close to home.
Okay. So what it sounds like is maybe we want to work on some of the clutter in your home to make it a little more safe.
Maybe, I'm not sure where it would go though. And these are things that are near and dear to me. So, um, we'll see if that works.
Yeah. Have you considered asking your daughter to maybe help you a little bit with that?
Oh no, no, absolutely not. She's drawn some pretty heavy boundaries on her willingness to work with me on most things. So I just stopped trying, stopped asking. You know,
Okay.
we were supposed to have, family Easter dinner, and I got in a fight with my daughter, and so then it didn't come to pass. And she's going to have a baby. She wants my support, but yet I don't get any from her. And I'm just not sure how this is going to go. Like I said, some days I just throw my hands up in the air and I just want to give up on everything.
Yeah. Can you tell me a little bit more about what you mean by you just want to give up?
Well, I don't see a reason for living. My husband's gone. My health is bad. My daughter is a pain. You know, I just don't see a reason for living.
Okay. I'm very sorry to hear that, and I hope we can connect you back to something that will help you find some meaning again. And it sounds like your church is very important to you, and I think we can work off of that to help you and maybe get you connected to some resources.
Okay.
Okay, I have just a few more questions for you, and then I think we will wrap up. But aside from the church community, what are some other things that you like to do throughout your day that you find meaning in or you feel joy through?
I love to play bingo. I used to go to bingo with some friends of mine. They've all died now too, so I've lost that connection. But I do love to play a good game of bingo.
That's good. And what about anything? I know you said you like to stay close to home, but is there anything that is close in your community that you like to engage in?
Mm, I know in the summer down at the park they have concerts, and my husband and I used to go to those all the time, and I haven't been able to go much since he's passed, and certainly not in the last couple of years. I haven't been able to go at all,
Mhm.
but I really enjoyed those.
Okay, that sounds very fun and maybe something you can look to get back doing if we can find you a way to get there.
That's always the question mark.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Is there anything else that you would like me to know to get to know you a little bit more and to start kind of creating a plan for you?
Oh, just that my life is complicated,
Okay.
you know, and I don't even know how I'm going to get through the day, let alone someone like yourself trying to help walk me through it. But there's just, like I said, there's just so many things going on. I get confused, then I get exhausted, then I get discouraged, and then I lose hope. It's too much, too much. So it might take some time.
Yeah, that's definitely okay. Healing is a process and there's no specific timeline on it. But I would just like to thank you for coming in and speaking with me. And I really hope that we can work together to help connect you back to things that bring you meaning and joy and get you out of this funk that you've been in for a while.
Thank you.